Hi, I'm Cyrus Lum, and I've been in the video game industry for 25 years. And in that time, I've learned or taught myself pretty much how to do everything. I'm an artist, a programmer, a designer, and a producer, with a little bit of business development and marketing thrown in. I'm a one-man band of game development. Through my career, I've worked at lots of video game companies, such as Midway, Acclaim Entertainment, and Crystal Dynamics. I even co-founded a video game development company called Inevitable Entertainment, and then sold that to Midway in 2004. I've worked on a bunch of games, like Turok the Dinosaur Hunter, Area 51, a bunch of other things too. So, my latest challenge, well, entering the Intel Perceptual Computing Challenge. What you'll see is my third submission. I call it ShadowMind. This is an open innovation app where I use Intel's PerC SDK to create a new tool for psychological assessment. The physical interactivity of using gestures and voice commands adds new dimension and depth to projective psychological tests, bringing the old inkblot tests into the 21st century. I asked John Lundeen, a licensed psychologist, to give his viewpoint on the value of ShadowMind.
My name is John Lundeen. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, licensed in the state of California. I've been licensed for around 8 or 9 years now. I was educated at the Wright Institute in Berkeley, California. Did my pre-doc at the Karen Horney Clinic in Manhattan and my postdoc at Children's Hospital of Oakland. I have a private practice in Oakland. I see children in what's called play therapy, where they play out their inner issues with toys that I have available in the room, and I help them through those issues. ShadowMind strikes me as an application that could represent the beginning of a new way for psychological assessment, especially in what's called the projective realm, where you project what's inside of you onto external things or relationships or people, that it could really take that process into the digital realm in the 21st century. What's still being used right now to really look deep into someone's inner world are traditional projective tests like the Rorschach inkblot test, which most people are familiar with on some level. What we have with ShadowMind, this is a activity that's immediately engaging because you're interacting with what feels like a life. I mean, it's abstract enough that it's hard to tell sort of what it is, which allows actually for you to project into it whatever you want. Oh no! You could play with it. Yeah, it's. I already feel responsible for him. Like I don't want anything to happen to him. Whenever you're interacting with a character, there's a great deal of course, yourself and your inner world that you're bringing to it. Especially when the slate is open enough for you to bring yourself fully into it. And in ShadowMind, you have characters that you can manipulate, that you can do things to, you can feed, you can pet, you can smack around, so it immediately, as I was playing it, I found it immediately began to elicit in me feelings that have to do with relationships. This seems to me a framework for something that could be extremely valuable as a projective tool.
I built this using the Unity Pro 4.1 game development environment. I've had a little bit of experience using Unity along with the PerC SDK when I entered the Intel PerC SDK San Francisco Hackathon early in the summer. This time, I'm going to dive deeper, get my head around programming in C#, as well as learning how to make a game in Unity. I'm also diving in deeper with the PerC SDK. I'm going to try to create some new gesture interfacing. I started making this out of the sample Glass Balls Unity demo that came with the PerC SDK. That demo It's a perfect building block for a lot of perceptual computing Unity projects. So now let's take a look at ShadowMind. ShadowMind is inspired by projective psychological tests that can help doctors understand their patient's inner mind. One of the better known projective tests is the inkblot or Rorschach test. Use ShadowMind in the presence of a trained psychologist and discover something about yourself. So the first thing that we do in this app is we calibrate the app. You move your hand forward near the camera until it gets detected. Now you can conjure the creature by twirling your finger in a circle like Harry Potter. And you can see the creature is there. You can start playing with the creature, balance it on your finger, poke it, move it around. This is an interesting kind of observation for the psychologist to see how does a patient react with the creature. So now you have the ability to feed the creature. And here again, the patient can describe what they're doing, what they think has happened, what just happened to the creature. Something grew. What is it? Are those wings? Is it possible there's something else that's seen as something else? So the interaction of the patient with this thing gives more dimension than just looking at a static inkblot. And there you can see more experimentation in playing with this new kind of thing, this creature. Next, you have the ability to describe, the patient can describe what they're feeling as they're playing around with the creature. Saying things like, I'm happy or sad. You'll notice that there are various reactions that are happening with the creature as it hears how the patient is describing what their experience is. And here, that one is describing maybe sadness or something. So now the creature has slowed down. The creature gets very energetic when you talk about happiness, when you talk about excitement. So those are the various things that can happen. And again, this adds more dimension to what a psychologist can see in this projective test, because the patient is interacting and describing using physical motion as well as vocal commands to interact.